In our modern world, there are many ways to secure your phone or any electronic device. You'll find the classic passcode, facial recognition, or Face ID, which is considered an advanced technology, and even voice recognition. And of course, the traditional fingerprint scan. But here's the truth. Almost every security method can be bypassed, except your fingerprint. Think about it. Voice recognition? A simple recording of your voice could trick the system. Face, despite being highly advanced, it's not impossible. Just look at the countless videos of twins unlocking each other's phones. And passwords? Well, someone close to you could easily guess it. Your birthday, an anniversary, or any date that matters to you. But fingerprints? That's a whole different story. No one on Earth can replicate your fingerprint, not even identical twins. It's one of the simplest yet greatest features of the human body. Your fingerprint is unique, created once by the universe, never before and never again. But have you ever wondered in the middle of the night, why is it that no two people share the same fingerprint, not even twins? And is this really true? Or just a myth? Welcome to Midnight Reflections, where curiosity never sleeps. Now, let's find out. Where curiosity never sleeps. Fingerprints are made up of tiny raised ridges in the skin called friction ridges. On these ridges are pores connected directly to the sweat glands beneath the skin. That's why your fingers leave behind a trace on anything you touch. The sweat creates the print. These ridges form spiral and circular patterns with valleys in between. And what's fascinating is that these patterns aren't random. They fall into three main types. Arch patterns, formed by symmetrical ridges stacked neatly on top of each other. They're the rarest, found in only about 5% of people. Whorl patterns, circular or spiral-like, seen in about 30 to 35% of people. Loop patterns, the most common, making up 60 to 65% of fingerprints, where ridges enter from one side, loop around, and exit the same side. By simply looking at your fingerprint, you can tell which category you belong to. More than 2,000 years ago, the Chinese noticed how unique fingerprints were. That's why emperors used their thumbprints as signatures on important documents. It was proof of authenticity. By the 19th century, scientists began to study them more deeply. In 1877, Henry Faulds invented a way to capture fingerprints on paper using printer's ink. And in 1892, Sir Francis Galton proved that no two fingerprints on Earth are ever identical. He discovered that fingerprints remain the same throughout a person's entire life. Even identical twins, though born from the same egg and almost identical in appearance, develop completely different fingerprints in the womb. Each twin grows with their own unique set, ensuring that while they may look alike, their fingerprints will always set them apart. All of these discoveries gave law enforcement huge confidence in using fingerprints as solid proof in criminal investigations. And starting in 1901, Scotland Yard in London officially introduced a system to identify criminals by their fingerprints. That system became the foundation for what police forces around the world still use today. This is why governments everywhere work to register the fingerprints of criminals and offenders, so that if a fingerprint is found at a crime scene, the culprit can be tracked down with ease. But here's something fascinating. A baby's thumbprint begins forming during the early weeks of pregnancy. By the 4th to 6th month, the fingerprint is fully formed, and it will remain unchanged for the rest of their life. Most theories confirm that fingerprints develop from the inner skin layer. Human skin is made of two main layers: the outer layer, called the epidermis, the inner layer, called the dermis. Between them lies a boundary, known as the basal layer. And this layer grows faster than the ones above and below it, which creates pressure. This pressure forces the skin to bend and fold into ridges that push outward, forming the unique fingerprint pattern. Because the blueprint of the fingerprint is encoded beneath the skin, surface injuries rarely damage it permanently. Once the skin heals, the same fingerprint pattern reappears. But here comes the big question. Why does every person have a completely unique fingerprint? Scientists say there are two main factors: genetics. Siblings often have similar patterns, and fingerprints can resemble those of parents. But they are never identical. Environmental conditions in the womb. And this is the real game changer. Everything a fetus experiences while developing influences their fingerprint, blood pressure, oxygen levels in the blood, the mother's nutrition, hormonal changes, the fetus's exact position in the womb, the length of the umbilical cord, even the amniotic fluid surrounding the fingers. All of these tiny variables combine to shape the ridges in unique ways. And since it's impossible for the exact same conditions to ever repeat for another person, no two fingerprints will ever be alike. Even identical twins who share the same DNA grow under slightly different pressures and conditions in the womb, so their fingerprints will always be different. But can human fingerprints really change over time? Many people believe that as we age, our fingerprints change too. They point out that older people often have fingerprints that look different from when they were young. But the truth is, your fingerprints never actually change. From the moment they form inside the womb, your fingerprints only grow larger with you while keeping the same unique pattern forever. What does happen with age is that the skin becomes less elastic, thinner, and sometimes shrinks, making the prints appear less clear. But the underlying fingerprint itself never changes. Of course, fingerprints can get temporarily distorted. Cuts, burns, heavy labor, constant dishwashing, or exposure to strong chemicals can damage the skin's surface and blur the details of the print. But here's the fascinating part. Once the skin heals, the original fingerprint pattern always comes back. That's because the blueprint of your fingerprint lies deeper, in the dermal layer of your skin. One famous example is the gangster John Dillinger in the 1930s. When he realized the police had lifted his fingerprints from a crime scene, he tried to outsmart them. He burned his fingertips with fire and acid, hoping to erase the evidence. But after some time, his skin healed, his fingerprints reappeared, and the police matched them perfectly to the prints from the crime scene. That mistake sealed his fate. Even more astonishing, fingerprints can survive after death. If a body is preserved through embalming or refrigeration, fingerprints can remain intact for years, even thousands of years. So, remember this: your fingerprints are yours for life, a truly unchanging identity. Now, put your fingerprint here with a like, share, and subscribe so this channel can grow and leave its mark. Now you know. Got more midnight questions? Drop them in the comments. Stay curious, and I'll see you in another Midnight Mystery.